Today we're going to be talking about beginning driver risk factors. Hi, how are you? I'm a state certified driving instructor. I teach teens and adults. Let's go ahead and get it. What risk factors do all drivers face, and particularly beginning drivers? Number one is inexperience. It takes up to 10 years to truly learn how to drive. Snow, rain, fog, downtown Detroit driving, downtown Chicago driving, country roads. It is very overwhelming for all of us, particularly in 2022. Next, teenage passengers. We all love having friends in the car, but it's about 33.5% per passenger that's in the car. The more passengers you have in the car, the more likely you are to be overwhelmed, miss a light, miss your turn, rear end someone. So you want to really limit the number of passengers that you have in the car. I know it's a tough one, but until you develop that safe driving focus and that safe driving practice, you really need to limit the number of people in your car. Distracted driving, this is including using the cell phone and texting. We live in an age of cell phone usage, and cell phone usage is really helpful, but not when you're driving. A lot of cars have a sync feature where you can sync your phone, and that is a lot better, but it still offers a distraction. I know it's hard, and I'm guilty of it too, but limit the phone usage for extreme situations. And if you have to use the phone, you need to pull over to the side of the road well off and then make your call and then focus on getting back on the road, mirror, turn signal, blind spot. Those things are really important. We saw a rear end collision today. It was raining. People were driving too fast. A gentleman was making a left turn. He tried to beat the traffic. Boom, he rear-ended a lady. And my students and I saw this, and it was a teachable moment. If you're new to the channel, I'm a state certified driving instructor. In the end, you need to subscribe. Right now, this person rear-ended this car, and it really got my point home. Reduce your speed in wet weather. Don't cut it so close where you have less than a half a car, and that's what that guy did, and he rear-ended the woman, and he will be at fault. Excessive speed, that speed does kill, and you've got to reduce your speed. You've got to take your time and drive safe. Safe driving takes time. It takes practice. In the snow, reduce your speed, increase your following distance. In the rain, reduce your speed, increase your following distance. In the fog, reduce your speed, increase your following distance. In heavy traffic, reduce your speed, increase the following distance. All of you are starting to understand what I mean. Reduce your speed, increase your following distance. Next, risky driving behaviors. Blowing through yellow lights. I can't tell you how many times I've seen this as a state certified instructor. Students blow lights. If you can stop safely in 3 seconds, reduce your speed, take your time. If you're driving under speed, then you're going to have to make a hard decision. Am I going to speed through the light? Hopefully not. Am I going to slam the brakes? Hopefully not. Because if you slam brakes, someone is not paying attention, and wham, they rear end you. So you have to drive at a speed that is safe and reasonable for the conditions on the road. Drinking and driving, we know this is a no-no, but so many young people and adults are guilty of drinking and driving. Drinking is a social event, and it belongs to people who are over 21. And when you're over 21, you've got a personal responsibility to yourself, your friends, and your family. Drinking and driving does not mix, period. Next, drinking while driving is not very high among novels. Whenever one, you're under 21, no one should be selling you alcohol, even with those fake IDs. A store can get in trouble if you're selling fake IDs. They will lose their liquor license, and you never know who is watching you. So companies, liquor companies, beer companies, party stores, if you're giving out alcohol and you're not sure who you're giving it to, you could lose your license, right? Fatal crashes is very high among beginning drivers. I'm not just talking about teens. It takes 10 years. So if you're 19, that's 29. If you're 16, that's 26. If you're 17, that's 27. 10 years to develop your skill set. Now, driving at night. This is very overwhelming. Low light situations are very difficult to see. You, as a beginning driver, take your time. If you've seen some of my content, we were driving an earlier year model, 2010, and then we were driving a 2022 Cadillac with HID lights. It makes a difference. If I was driving an older vehicle, I would buy some high output light bulbs. I would replace those lenses in the front. I would make sure I'm seen and I want to be seen. That's really important. Take your time when you drive at night. Learn to see ahead. Learn to look ahead. It's like walking down the hallway. You've got to learn to look ahead, just like I'm looking at you. Next, you want to make sure you're having those safe driving practices as you go from the teen, 17, 18, 19 into 20, 21, 22. Practice those good driving skills. If you see mom and dad road raging, you could be having some of those fundamentals. You can say, wow, why am I driving like this? Because you've seen this all of your life and you don't normally act like that because you're tired or you're hungry or you gotta poop. Yes, that's right, I said it. You gotta poop. You run lights, you cut off cars. And this behavior is a learned behavior. Most drivers don't drive like this. Okay, it's called a rush in when you're late to school, you're late to work. We all tend to drive a little bit more excessively. Reduce your speed and take your time. Young males, let's talk about you for a second. Young males, especially teenage boys, are involved in more crashes. Why? You're more aggressive. You learn this from the caveman times. I'm going to kill the dinosaur, but young men, the pterodactyl ate you. Right? So, what does this mean? Drive slower. Take your time. You don't have anything to prove. No one cares if you have a Mustang. No one cares if you have a Trackhawk. No one cares if you have a Scat Pack. Those cars are very powerful, but it takes a more powerful attitude to drive these vehicles. Learn best practice. Look at content. Learn how to drive safe because these cars are readily, easily available and they go very fast. Reduce your speed in school zones, in neighborhoods, and drive responsibly. Now, young ladies, you're driving fast too because you see your older brother, you see your uncle, you see your dad cutting through the neighborhood going real fast. Reduce your speed because kids play in neighborhoods and kids think those cars are monsters with that big grill and those headlights. So they'll just walk out in front of you. Neighborhoods are the most dangerous place. 25 miles or less away from home, people get casual, they take off their seatbelt, they are driving with one hand. Yeah, I'm gonna be big pimp, I'm the OG, and then a kid comes out. Take your time, have both hands on the wheel, 10 and 2, 9 and 3, and recently AAA has said 5, 7, and 5 may be better. Why? Because of an airbag. Now, this is a specialty steering wheel. I have a Gen 1 Camaro, so this is a removable steering wheel, but normally airbags will be here. So we're not trying to put our thumbs where the airbags would be. And that's a lot of controversy, and that's a whole nother discussion. Let's talk about social norms. We've seen a lot of social media, especially teens and drivers. Reduce your speed. Drive slow. If this brought you value, subscribe to my channel, give it a thumbs up. I love you. Please drive safe. Bye.